Masked men forcing their way into a Mississauga home in broad daylight. Tonight, the homeowners speak out about witnessing the crime in real time and the more than 12-hour wait for police to arrive. Good evening. It was mid-afternoon when the notification from the doorbell camera went off.
What it showed was masked men forcing their way into a home near Mississauga Road in the 403. What it didn't show is a family who say they are now living in fear. CTV's Allison Hurst spoke with the family this afternoon and joins us now live with the latest. Allison.
Zoraida, Peel police say that officers are still canvassing the area, still looking for security footage and trying to piece together where those suspects came from and where they went when they left. A blue SUV pulls into the driveway and a person in plaid with a blue medical mask knocks on the door several times before leaving. Minutes later, what looks like the same car returns and two people get out, one wearing the same shirt but with a hood and a different face covering. They break in the door. Shortly after, a third person joins and the car drives away.
That's when they disconnected the Wi-Fi, so we don't have any recording beyond that.
Rajendra Prasad was at work and rushed home when he saw what was happening on his security camera around 2:50 yesterday afternoon. He entered his home with a neighbor when he was sure no one was inside.
Everything is on the floor everywhere. Every single room, every single washroom, even the drawers and cabinets, even in the washrooms, they are all open. In the rooms, every drawer has been opened and thrown upside down on the floor.
His daughter, Sugand Gupta, was out and his wife had left the house just before the break-in. The only one home was the family dog, Mitzi.
My bed cover was covered. There was blood marks, there was urine, there was very clearly something had happened to her.
Gupta took Mitzi to the vet.
I'm still really afraid for her. We still have to keep a watch if she was drugged, and she's not herself. Yeah. And she's my child, she's everything to me.
Despite being called around 3:15 yesterday afternoon, Peel police did not arrive until just after 8 a.m. this morning.
When I read the call initially, I wasn't very happy with what I read either in terms of the delay that went by.
Peel police say it's uncommon for a call like this to wait so long, but yesterday there were several calls happening at the time, and two are still on the go.
It's violating, and no one should have to wait. Unfortunately, in this case, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, there's no one present anymore and the danger has since ceased. So in that case, we can put this call off to the side so we can prioritize things that are happening now.
You see there are marks here.
Visible scratch marks can be seen on the family's front door, and Prasad says he had to secure it overnight so they could sleep. He says the suspects not only disabled the Wi-Fi,
They pulled down all of this,
but also ripped the PVR box out of the wall that held the security camera recordings. The family just wants to feel safe again.
We need to have safer cities. The fact that the police weren't able to come because so much crime was happening and so many other people were in distress that it took them this long to arrive, that's scary.
Police say they're looking for at least 4 suspects. Prasad tells us that about a week before this break-in happened, he saw someone standing outside his home flying a drone over his property. So he called police to report it. We asked Peel police about that, and they don't believe the two incidents are connected. Reporting live, I'm Allison Hurst. Zoraida, back to you.
Thank you, Allison. A man is in hospital after being struck by a streetcar in Midtown. It happened at St. Clair and Yonge just before 2 p.m. Police say the pedestrian was taken to hospital with serious injuries but is expected to survive. The cause of the collision is being investigated. Police in Niagara region have announced the results of a joint operation that led to the seizure of guns, drugs, and stolen vehicles.
30 people were arrested with more than 200 charges laid. CTV's John Musselman has more on Project Road King.
Guns, drugs, cash, and dozens of stolen vehicles, all of it seized during a joint forces investigation dubbed Project Road King. Police in Niagara region describe it as a criminal network operating across local, provincial, and international borders.
Officers seized in excess of $260,000 of controlled substances, including cocaine and MDMA. Over $500,000 in Canadian currency was recovered, and most notably, 38 stolen vehicles were located and recovered.
Many of the stolen vehicles had altered VIN numbers and were intercepted at shipping points inside cargo containers headed to places like Nigeria and Vietnam. Investigators say the stolen vehicles were taken from Hamilton, York Region, Toronto, Halton, Simcoe, and Guelph. The total value is more than $3.3 million. 30 people have been charged in this case.
It's a clear example of what can be achieved when law enforcement agencies break down silos and work together towards a common goal.
Police also seized large quantities of drugs, including cocaine. The investigation began in August 2024, but it expanded in April when several GTA police forces, the RCMP, the Criminal Intelligence Service of Ontario, and Canadian Border Services were brought in. A dozen search warrants were executed across Niagara, Hamilton, and Toronto on September the 9th. The 30 people arrested in this investigation are facing more than 200 charges. John Musselman, CTV News in Niagara Falls.
We have more news in a moment, but first here's a look at the forecast and a live shot of the city. A lovely looking evening, great conditions to get outside, or even better, head to the Markham Fairgrounds. And that's where we find our Lindsay Morrison, who's on location for the kickoff of the Markham Fair. Lindsay.
In fact, I want to introduce you to a guest who is utterly fabulous. This is Buttercup, and she's having her dinner right now. I'm just giving her a little hand here. How about that? Hi, Buttercup. You ready for your close-up? Buttercup is less than a month old, and Alyssa and Phil are doing an awesome job helping me get to know Buttercup a little bit better. But yes, we are here at the Markham Fair. It is the 181st Markham Fair, and this is such a tradition for so many families to come here and enjoy what is going to be a wonderful weekend, and the weather is looking pretty good too. Let's get to your forecast, and we're going to begin with what's happening right now. Temperature-wise, it is nice and comfortable out here. Of course, the sun is getting ready to set, so yeah, it's going to start to cool down a little bit, but teen temperatures today, not as hot as it will be into this weekend. On the satellite and radar, we don't have much to show you. We had a couple of fair weather clouds today. Winds have been a little bit breezy at times, and let me show you your evening at a glance. If you're maybe considering coming down to the fair, checking out the Midway, I'd consider a light jacket just to keep yourself nice and warm. Again, we are live here with Buttercup at the Markham Fair. Oh, she's done such a great job. So much to check out throughout the hour. For now, Nathan and Zoraida, I'll send it back to you, back inside.
Thank you, Lindsay. For the second time in just 4 days, computer outages at the Canadian Border Services Agency led to delays for travelers at Canadian airports.
Today's delay, nothing like the one that affected passengers on Sunday. CTV's Beth McDonnell is live at Pearson Airport tonight with the very latest. Beth.
Nathan, the Canada Border Service Agency says the outage affecting the kiosks has been resolved. It started around 10:20 this morning and went until about 2 in the afternoon. These machines that were affected, they are the ones that international travelers use to verify their identity and declare their travel information. Appearing to create long lines, the Canada Border Service Agency outage first knocked out the primary inspection kiosks at Pearson and other airports on Sunday for 10 hours. Today it happened again for about 3 hours.
I went through the whole process, but then slip came out that says incomplete. So I had to stand in the line to fill up the form and come out.
When I got there, they said that the photo capture was down. So the slip that you normally get, it didn't have our picture on it. But honestly, it was very quick. I got through security and customs very easily.
The purpose of the kiosks are to verify international passengers' identities and for them to declare their travel information. According to Toronto Pearson's website, today's outage didn't hit at a peak travel time. The CBSA says this second outage in 5 days was linked to the system outage on Sunday that was caused by an unforeseen technical problem during routine systems maintenance and was not the result of a cyber attack.
Good we didn't come on Sunday and we came today when for me it was a smooth sailing, no problem.
The CBSA says when the kiosks went down, travelers were redirected for manual processing. It says safety and security standards are upheld at all times, with Border Services officers working to verify identities, receive declarations, and conduct additional screening warranted. Sunday's outage started around 4 in the afternoon, which, according to Toronto Pearson's website, is listed as the busiest time. Reporting live, I'm Beth McDonnell. Zoraida, back to you.
Thank you, Beth. 2 people are dead, 4 more injured after a violent attack on a British synagogue on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar. We'll have the latest from Manchester in moments.
But first, the Durham region, where police are searching for suspects in an arson investigation. Our CTV News chopper was over the scene today in North York, Pickering. I make that in North Pickering. A week ago, a number of homes under construction near Carrydale and Marchington Square were set on fire. No injuries were reported. Investigators are hoping the public can help and are looking for any home or dash cam video from the area.
Thousands of striking college support workers were joined by students, faculty, and other unions at rallies across several Ontario campuses today.
This latest show of solidarity as the strike enters its 4th week with no end in sight. CTV's Janice Golding reports.
Hundreds of support workers rallied outside Humber College as the strike continues into its 4th week.
We're out here because we want a better system. We want to do better for our students, and we want to be back at work.
None of us want to be out here, but with the funding cuts, the wage cuts, the lack of job security, the CEC has basically said, take it or leave it. If you don't like it, you can go pound salt.
Workers say they're fighting to protect jobs amidst one of the largest mass layoffs in the province's history, and upwards of 650 programs have been suspended or canceled. Just last week, Georgian College announced it will be shuttering campuses in Orillia and Muskoka.
Let's not shut down more programs. Let's not lay off more, folks who don't need to be losing their jobs.
The job action initially started on September the 11th, when about 10,000 workers at 24 colleges walked off the job.
Mediation had commenced, but talks broke down on Monday between OPSU, the workers' union, and the CEC, the College Employer Council.
I know that they're doing it for a good cause, but it's a bit obstructing to me. It's frustrating.
It's strange because, I'm going on the first class, and I have it in person, second class online, so I need to find some place to sit in there.
The union says it sympathizes with students, but says the employer refused any job security language that would clear the path to a settlement. Meanwhile, the CEC says it has tabled enhanced offers that total more than $155 million.
We made a very generous proposal over the weekend, and we've asked them to share that with all their members. We really hope that members get to read it. It's enhanced technological protections, enhanced severance, we've increased wages. It's a number of things that they've demanded we've given.
Contract talks started on June the 1st, and the workers have been without a contract since September the 1st. In addition to this rally, there were 5 other rallies held at colleges across the province, including Georgian College in Orillia. Janice Golding, CTV News.
One day after a bombshell report into a multi-billion-dollar provincial government fund, Ontario's Auditor General called neither fair nor transparent. We're learning more about where some of those millions went.
As CTV's John Woodward reports, some of those people getting government grants were giving political donations.
I'm here with my friend Nick Simone.
That's a video of Premier Doug Ford giving businessman Nick Simone a King Charles Coronation Medal this summer. Around the same time, Simone was tapped to chair the board of Metrolinx, the province's transportation super agency. Simone is also the CEO of Pace Law Firm. That firm is slated to receive $3.3 million in grants from the Skills Development Fund for 2 programs, the firm says, that have expanded our internal capacity by hiring new staff as legal assistants, paralegals, lawyers, and administrative support. Simone's name is listed on over $13,000 in donations to the governing PC party since 2021. The firm itself gave over $20,000 when corporate donations were legal. And it's among several recipients of SDF money who happened to give political donations to the political party whose staff were deciding where the tax dollars went.
Not fair, transparent, or accountable.
That's according to a bombshell report Wednesday by the province's Auditor General, who said some $750 million went to projects nonpartisan bureaucrats ranked low, while some 1,000 high-ranking projects went unfunded. The company DentaCloud got $2 million to address the labor shortages in the dental industry and to upskill the dental workforce. DentaCloud director John McGearius got a King Charles Coronation Medal too. Records show McGearius gave some $23,000 to the PCs since 2022, including $3,000 to then Labour Minister Monty McNaughton, seen here at a press conference hosted at a bar belonging to another political donor and fund recipient, Scale Hospitality. On Wednesday, current Labour Minister David Piccini said political staff were the best suited to decide the grants.
It's important that I and government, who are elected by the people, ultimately have the say in where these are going.
The Ford government has essentially taken a program designed to train workers, a good program designed to train workers turning it into a slush fund.
Opposition MPPs say there's no way out of that conflict of interest, and objective bureaucrats should be making those calls.
All these connections and the lack of transparency.
Weeks into our reporting on this fund, we do have a full list of grant recipients, but not how each project was ranked or the money each got. That's despite our requests to the political staff. Requests we'll keep making. John Woodward, CTV News.
British police are calling the attack in Manchester, England, an act of terror after a man drove a car into a crowd at a synagogue and began stabbing people.
CTV's Heather right now on the fear and heightened security at synagogues around the globe, including here in Canada.
On this, the holiest day of the Jewish calendar, an attack at a synagogue. Police say a man wearing what appeared to be an explosive vest first drove a car into people gathered outside a temple in Manchester, England, then got out of his car and attacked others with a knife. He was then shot dead by police while trying to get inside the building. 2 people were killed, 4 others injured.
We shouldn't be scared to feel or believe in what we believe.
The attack has been deemed an act of terror and occurred in an area of Manchester home to many Orthodox Jews. It comes at a time of heightened fears in the Jewish community and rising anti-Semitism around the world. The man suspected of carrying out the attack has been identified as 35-year-old Jihad al-Shami. 3 other people have been arrested as well on suspicion of commission, preparation and instigation of acts of terrorism and remain in custody.
I'm already able to say that additional police assets are being deployed to synagogues across the country, and we will do everything to keep our Jewish community safe.
Here at home, security has also increased outside of synagogues. Toronto police announced last month they would increase patrols throughout the high holidays, as well as during the lead up to the 2-year anniversary of the Hamas attacks of October 7th.
Scary times, obviously, okay, and it's crazy. It's crazy. This cannot continue. If you can always justify our murder, then it doesn't stop.
Today, Prime Minister Mark Carney called the Manchester synagogue attack an appalling anti-Semitic atrocity, vowing we will always protect the inalienable rights of Jewish communities to live their lives free from intimidation and threats of violence. And despite the increased security, there is a fear within the Jewish community, a concern that what happened in England could happen here. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
As several key sectors are hit hard by Trump administration tariffs, the Federal Minister of Canada-U.S. Trade says he expects the 2 countries to come to some kind of understanding on trade.
I do believe this is resolvable, but in the definition of what resolvable means, I'm also very much of the view of the Prime Minister that the relationship with the United States has fundamentally changed, and it will not magically go back to what it may have been a year ago or 25 years ago.
As the lumber, steel and auto industries cope with targeted tariffs, Dominic LeBlanc said Ottawa hopes to make progress on sector-specific deals before the formal review of the CUSMA Free Trade Pact next year. To Washington now, where lawmakers are exchanging barbs over the shutdown of the federal government and who's responsible.
U.S. President Donald Trump says he'll use the opportunity to carry out cuts at what he called Democrat agencies within the government. The White House press secretary was asked what he meant by that.
Federal government. Look, we're going to look at agencies that don't align with the administration's values that we feel are a waste of the taxpayer dollar. And look, unfortunately, these conversations are happening because we don't have any money coming into the federal government right now.
The shutdown took effect after Republicans and Democrats failed to come to an agreement over competing spending bills. Republicans control the House of Representatives, the U.S. Senate, and the White House, but Democrats have enough votes to block bills in the Senate. They say they want a deal that extends health care subsidies and reverses cuts to Medicaid.
We're ready to work together to bring it back open, but to do it in a way where we enact a spending agreement that's bipartisan, that meets the needs of the American people, while at the same time addresses the Republican health care crisis that is devastating everyday Americans all across the country.
They would rather not pay the troops and TSA agents and Border Patrol agents. They would rather stop services of FEMA in the middle of a hurricane season than to do the right thing for partisan political purposes.
The White House has indicated it foresees shutdown-related firings in the thousands. The Senate is expected to have another vote on potential funding bill tomorrow.
As Hamas considers a new U.S. ceasefire proposal, Israeli police and Navy vessels spent the day intercepting a flotilla of boats carrying activists who were trying to reach the coast of Gaza. The group of more than 40 boats carried nearly 450 people, and along with them, a symbolic amount of humanitarian aid for Gaza. Organizers say the goal was to break what they called Israel's illegal siege of the enclave and what they called Israel's genocide of Palestinians. Israel has strongly denied claims of genocide and says other countries had already offered to deliver any aid the boats were carrying. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators gathered in several European cities to speak out against the interceptions. Israel has said those arrested are safe and in good health, but has not said when they will be released. Meanwhile, Israel is warning residents of Gaza City that this is their last chance to leave, saying those who remain will be considered militant supporters as its forces pursue Hamas fighters there. Officials say at least 41 were killed in Israeli strikes on the city overnight. The UN estimates between 600 and 700,000 people remain in Gaza City, while up to 400,000 have fled as Israeli forces advanced.
European leaders gathered in Denmark for meetings focused on security, defense, and the war in Ukraine. This follows recent aerial incursions by Russian drones and other aircraft into NATO space.
We have one major task ahead of us. We have to make our common Europe so strong that the war against us becomes unthinkable. And we have to do it now.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called on European countries to work together to create what he called a drone wall, a united front against any further attacks from Russia. He also urged allies to step up sanctions on Moscow and to stop buying energy from Russia.
One person was hurt after two Delta airline jets collided on a taxiway last night at New York's LaGuardia Airport.
Yeah, we did. Their right wing clipped our nose and the cockpit. We have damage to our windscreen and some of our screens in here.
The two jets hit in what officials are calling a low-speed collision. The wing of an aircraft getting ready to take off reportedly slammed into the cockpit window of a plane that had just arrived. A flight attendant was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. There were no reports of any passengers being injured.
Passengers who booked a Caribbean cruise are dealing with some disappointment after tropical storms forced their ship to head to Boston instead.
They didn't give us an itinerary change and 24 hours of notice in advance.
Some people didn't really know. It kind of sucked.
Some passengers arrived on board with the wrong clothing for their surprise destinations, which will also include 2 stops in Maine. Some said they wish they hadn't taken the trip in the first place. A Norwegian cruise line spokesperson said the safety of guests, crew, and the communities visited are always a top priority.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, drivers in the GTA pay some of the highest car insurance premiums in the country. Despite rising rates, some people may not know exactly what their policy does and does not cover. We look at car insurance myths 101. That story is just ahead.
Well, the Markham Fair is all about the Midway, the food, the animals, and tonight, the monster trucks. It's going to be a great night for a show, and Sunday, too. Here's a look at your fall fair forecast for the next few days, but I must say it's going to feel a little more like summer than fall. Temperatures in the upper 20s heading into the weekend and feeling closer to 30. We've got an upper ridge that's forming, and that's bringing us all this summertime heat for the first weekend of October. How long will it last? We will show you, and you know what? I think we're going to take a little spin on this bad boy, so stay tuned for that, and also stay with us because we've got another night of great shows right here on CTV.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Auto insurance is a major household expense for many drivers, and rates have been rising steadily as insurers face higher costs.
Despite being such a large part of the household budget, there's still some myths drivers might believe that just aren't true. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Nathan and Zoraida. There's a popular myth the color of your car can affect your insurance premiums, which is, of course, not true. But where you live will affect how much you pay. We speak with an insurance expert about 5 popular myths to separate fact from fiction. There are about 26 million vehicles on the road in Canada, and it's mandatory to have car insurance. But not all policies are the same, and there can be differences in what's covered and what isn't. The first myth, comprehensive coverage is the same as full coverage. That's false.
It will provide coverage for perils like fire, theft, vandalism, if someone's trying to break into your car, causes damage, that type of thing.
Stephen Harris with lowestrates.ca says collision insurance covers you for accidents with other vehicles, collisions with objects, or hit-and-run crashes. Having both collision and comprehensive is generally considered full coverage. Myth number 2, a personal policy covers rideshare driving. That's false. Most personal policies exclude commercial use, such as ride sharing and food delivery. If you're going to do that, you'll need additional coverage.
But you don't want to shortcut that. You want to be transparent, so at the time of claim, there's no surprises, because it could be a very costly mistake.
If I have 2 at-fault claims, my insurance can go up substantially. That's not a myth. It's true.
If you have 2 at-fault accidents, generally in a period of about within 6 years, you would move into what's called a non-standard insurance market for auto insurance. And yes, your premiums do go up quite a bit.
If I lend my car to a friend and they crash, their insurance pays. That's false. It's a myth.
If you lend your car, you lend your insurance. So if that person is driving the vehicle and is in an at-fault accident, it generally will follow the registered owner of the vehicle. So do be mindful about who you're lending your vehicle to.
Older cars only need liability coverage. In this current market, that's false.
Definitely don't assume I have a 10-year-old, 12-year-old vehicle. It's not worth a lot anymore, because it really has changed in the past few years.
A 10-year-old car these days could still be worth $15,000, so you'll want to go over your coverage with your insurance company to see if keeping full coverage on an older vehicle might make sense. And if you're concerned you're paying too much for insurance, shop around. You may get a lower rate with a different company. Also consider increasing your deductible, bundling policies, and always drive safely and avoid tickets. Good drivers pay less. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
It's fall fair season, and it feels like summer out there. I have a feeling they're selling more ice cream than they are anything.
They probably are, because it does still feel like, well, over the past few days, midsummer, and that warm weather is coming back. Lindsay.
Oh, it's coming back in a big way, Nathan and Zoraida. Today was a little more fall-like, which was appropriate and perfect for the kickoff of this fall fair. But yeah, the next couple of days, heat and humidity and sunshine. A whole lot to look forward to weather-wise, and a whole lot to look forward to here at the Markham Fair. I have 2025 Markham Fair president. This is Dylan Armstrong with me. In case you're wondering, we are buckled into a monster truck right now. This is a big part of what's happening here tonight.
It is tonight. The show's about to start. 7 o'clock tonight, monster trucks, and then 5 o'clock on Sunday.
Okay, so that's just, one awesome thing that people can check out here at the fair, but there's so much to enjoy. Tell us more.
So if you missed the monster trucks tonight, that's okay. Like I said, they're back Sunday. Tomorrow night, we have our truck and tractor pull. On Saturday night, we have our demolition derby and our horse pull. So you have to pick one or the other because they're both at the same time, but they're both great shows to watch.
And at any time, you can come and enjoy the midway, check out the animals, and enjoy some good food.
Exactly, yep. There's lots for the whole family here. Buildings, midway, it's all great.
What I love about the Markham Fair is that it feels close enough to the GTA. It feels accessible for so many people who maybe aren't used to experiencing farm life up close. But this is, not only is it fun, but it's educational for so many people.
Oh, that's for sure, yep. That's what started us to begin with, was education, and that's our goal. Education with a little bit of a fun twist.
Okay, well, you know what else is looking fun? The weather forecast. I think everyone's going to be pretty happy with it. Here's a look at what we can expect as we continue through the night tonight. Still comfortable temperature-wise. The sun, we're watching it start to go down, and we're going to see the temperature fall as that begins to happen. Tonight's low is expected to be around 11 degrees. That is a little bit warmer than normal. See our seasonal norms there, the high around 17, the low around 8. In addition to the temperature drop tonight, we should have clear clear skies, maybe some patchy fog. Still a slight risk of frost the further north you go, but less so compared to the last couple of nights. And then tomorrow, let's talk all about it. 25 degrees is going to feel more like 28. So hot, humid, sunny, a breezy southwest wind. Sunset time, 6:54 p.m. A little snapshot of the temperatures across our province. 26 tomorrow in Guelph and St. Thomas. 23 for you in Welland as well as Burlington. 25 Aurora and Collingwood. Nice looking day. And then you'll find it very similar temperature-wise. Huntsville, Trenton, and Uxbridge. Wall-to-wall sunshine as well. In fact, it's worth mentioning that we don't really have measurable rain in the forecast in the short range. Things change somewhat into next week. Let's set the radar in motion here to give you an idea of what we're dealing with. High pressure has been dominant. There is a bit of a front to the north. It is going to stay away from us. If anything, there might be a couple of stray showers around Georgian Bay, the Bruce Peninsula, but we expect to remain dry here in the GTA and throughout much of southern Ontario for your Friday, your Saturday, and into the day on Sunday. Here's where things are going to start to change a little bit. It's into next week, so Monday is still hot. Look at these temperatures. 27 degrees, feeling more like 30. Monday night, we could get into a few showers. Tuesday looks unsettled. This rain, I think, welcomed by many. It has been quite dry lately. And if you're ready for some cooler fall-like air, how about Wednesday and Thursday? Suddenly the temperature slightly below seasonal. Again, we are live here on a monster truck at the Markham Fair. And you know what? I think it's time we take this thing for a ride. Everyone ready? Hold on tight. Okay, Nathan and Zoraida. It's getting fast. Enjoy the scenery and the sounds if you can still hear me. I'll send it back inside to you guys, but whoa, this is fun.
It looks like it. Stay safe. Hold on tight. I'm sure she's wearing a
That
seatbelt.
looks so fun.
All right. After the break, we'll take you on stage for the critically acclaimed Broadway musical co-written by Steve Martin, making its Toronto debut with an all-Canadian cast. The federal health minister says the Liberals' national dental care plan has reached a new milestone.
We announced that more than 5 million Canadians are currently covered under the Canadian Dental Care Plan.
Health Canada says nearly all dental providers are now taking part in the plan. The program launched in May 2024 for seniors, children, and disability tax credit recipients, and expanded in May 2025 to all uninsured Canadians with a family income under $90,000. Health Minister Marjorie Michel says the dental program will be spared from spending cuts, which are expected in the upcoming federal budget. A critically acclaimed Broadway musical has hit the stage here in Toronto.
Co-written by Steve Martin, this production offers an all-Canadian cast of actor-musicians. CTV's Andrea Case has the story.
When the all-Canadian cast of Bright Stars step onto the stage at the CAA Theatre, they will do so without an orchestra to back them up. They are the orchestra.
I play the mayor of the town, and I play the accordion, and I play the bass, and I play the mandolin, a little bit of piano. Overbearing father wants what's best for his son, but maybe doesn't have the best idea of what that might be.
Brendan Wall first picked up the accordion when he was cast in the play Warhorse in 2010.
But it took me to the West End, and I played in the West End of England with this instrument, and it's taken me around the world, and I keep getting a little bit better at it.
Kaylee Harwood recently played Celine Dion in Titanic on the very same stage as Bright Star, the versatile performer moving from pop music to bluegrass.
It's very different from traditional musical theater where there will be a conductor either on stage or off stage who's bringing everyone in. There's a lot of just having to listen to each other really, really closely. And in a place like this size theater, it's a bit more of an acoustic sound.
Grammy winners and skilled banjo player Steve Martin and singer-songwriter Edie Brickell wrote the musical about a woman spanning two time periods, 1945 to 46, with flashbacks to 1923.
And it's a story, I think, of returning to yourself and kind of learning what made you you, and a story of perseverance and hope beyond all adversity. It's really special. There's humor in it. There's a lot of heart.
I took that $5 and put it toward my college fund.
And how much do you have in that college fund?
$5.
Well, it's a very human story, very relatable story, I think. There's a lot of heartache in it as well, but there is a lot of joy and redemption too. And so I think that, I mean, you can bring your tissues, but also come ready to just be wowed by these incredible musician actors.
Bright star, keep shining for me.
Bright Star is on stage now at the CAA Theater until October 26th. Andrea Case, CTV News.
The next municipal election is more than a year away, but one city councilor says he is taking another crack at the top job. After the break, we hear from Brad Bradford about why he has decided to mount another run for mayor.
Algoma Steel is bracing for a multi-million-dollar hit as it navigates U.S. duties. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has the details.
Algoma Steel says its losses are growing as a result of American tariffs. Algoma expects to lose $80 to $90 million in its third quarter. It sent about 100,000 tons less of its steel to the U.S. because of the 50% tariff. But Algoma's getting some help. Ottawa and the Ontario government have announced $500 million in financing for the hard-hit steelmaker. Ottawa's fiscal watchdog says homes are getting more affordable in Canada. He looked at the gap between average home prices and what a typical household can afford. That gap narrowed the most in Toronto and Hamilton, Ontario. September home sales creeped up in Vancouver, growing just over 1% from last year. But they are still well below the 10-year average. Now in Montreal, September home sales were up 11%. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 71.63. West Texas Intermediate is down over $1 to 60.16. Western Canadian Select down as well to 50.17. And the TSX hit another record close, moving up 52 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
Also today, new warnings from businesses about the impact of the ongoing Canada Post strike. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business says last year's postal strike cost small businesses more than $1 billion and saw 13% of those surveyed stop using the service in the aftermath. The organization says nearly 2/3 of respondents said they'd also switch shipping providers if another strike happened. The latest job action was launched after the federal government announced a major overhaul of Canada Post to address its troubled finances.
Electric car maker Tesla reported a surprise increase in sales over its most recent quarter. The company says it sold more than 497,000 vehicles around the globe in the 3 months through September. That's a 7% increase compared to 2024. The surge came just as an EV tax credit south of the border was set to expire. Tesla stocks rose at first on the news, but they've closed down, with analysts saying it's not clear where continuing demand for the brand is heading. The positive results follow 2 quarters of steep declines linked to CEO Elon Musk's political activities and work with the Trump administration.
And speaking of Musk, the world's richest man has set a new record for the size of his fortune. According to Forbes, on Wednesday, he became the first person to surpass $500 billion U.S. in net worth, or nearly 700 billion Canadian. That came as Tesla's stock was up slightly, although his wealth has since fallen back below the $500 million threshold. In more than a year, Toronto voters will go to the polls to elect the city's next mayor.
But one mayoral hopeful is launching his second attempt for the top job now with a Back to Basics platform. CTV's Natalie Johnson reports.
Proud of you. Move your feet.
At the park down the street from his East End home.
Oh, my goodness.
Again.
Brad Bradford says being a parent to his 2 young girls
3, 2, 1.
has changed the way he sees life in Toronto.
When I became a dad, that completely changed my worldview. When you think about the city from the lens of a parent, it's all about making this a great place to live, a safe place to live, a place where you want to call home with your family. I'll wait for you at the top.
From the state of the city's parks to safety on the TTC, Toronto, he says, can do better.
It's a city right now where in the wintertime we're not able to get the streets cleared, In the summertime, the pools are closing. We have to get back to basics to deliver world-class services for our residents. And if we can get the small things right, if we can get back to basics, then I think this is a city that will really start to shine.
And so the Beaches East York councillor is now making it official. He will run for mayor of Toronto.
I care so much about the city. It's where I'm building my home. It's where I'm raising my family. And I want Toronto to be the best city in the world.
The campaign doesn't officially get underway until May, and the election isn't until October 2026. With a full year to go until Torontonians head to the polls, Bradford is the first high-profile candidate to declare that he will run for mayor. A September Forum poll found that in a head-to-head match, Bradford could beat current Mayor Olivia Chow with a narrow edge if the election was called today. Chow has not confirmed whether she will seek a second term. Her office telling CTV News in a statement, quote, Mayor Chow is focused on fixing what people care about most. She is bringing down the cost of rent and housing by building more affordable homes, investing massively in repairing our aging transit system, and addressing crime by hiring 720 more police officers and investing in youth.
We need to build housing.
Bradford ran unsuccessfully against Chow in the 2023 mayoral by-election that was called after John Tory stepped down amid a sex scandal. The centre-right councillor says he has spent the 2 years since listening to Torontonians about what they want to see in their city.
I feel the energy from our residents, and I'm here to champion a better way forward, a new generation of leadership and a new chapter for Toronto.
Gearing up now for an election year in which voters will decide. Natalie Johnson, CTV News.
After the break, the iconic voice behind many Maple Leaf memories over nearly the last half a century is hanging up his microphone. We sit down with the legendary Joe Bowen ahead of his final season in the broadcast booth.
Get Toronto's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
For generations, Leaf fans have associated his voice with their favorite team, both on radio and television.
And now, after 44 seasons, this will be the last that Joe Bowen is behind the microphone. And before the puck drops, he sat down with CTV's Sean Leathong to talk about his time in the broadcast booth.
To the line! Here's Placanitz! Scores! We're going to Boston, baby!
For 44 years, Joe Bowen has been the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs. The man responsible for putting words to some of the greatest moments in Leafs history.
Gilmore! Clark! Score!
He's known for passion, energy, and a catchphrase familiar to the entire hockey world.
Holy Mackinac! Holy Mackinac! Holy Mackinac! The Leafs have won it!
Talking inside of his radio booth at Scotiabank Arena ahead of his final season, Bowen says his famous phrase was handed down by his father.
He would sit there with me on his lap, and when Johnny Bauer, my dad played goal, I played goal. When Johnny made a big save, it was holy Mackinac, what a save by Johnny.
It began in his hometown Sudbury, calling games for the Junior A Wolves, then to Halifax before earning his role with the Leafs in 1982.
First game in '82, and we're in the old stadium in Chicago. That was, you better pinch yourself here, lad.
The 74-year-old has received the Foster Hewitt Award from the Hockey Hall of Fame for outstanding contribution to broadcast. Through both radio and television, this season Bowen will call his 3,800th game. Alongside partner Jim Ralph, Bowen says his goal is to never take himself too seriously.
It's like going to a bar with your best buddy who is just the funniest guy in the world, and oh yeah, the game's on, and we better get the score right because some people are around the corner eavesdropping on us.
Bless you, boys! What a game!
In 44 years of eavesdropping, Leafs fans have been treated to many legendary calls, but there is one that sticks out most to Bowen. 1993.
And Nicky Borashevsky scores in Game 7. And I'm at that end of the rink. And I can definitely see that Nicky touched the puck on Bob Rouse's shot. And when you get a chance to have a goal like that, you just pray you get it right. You pray you get it right. And I knew I had it.
Gilmore to Bobby Rose! Shot! Scores! Nikolai Borashevsky!
And his infectious energy has made Bowen the marker of milestones for fans, players, and their families.
It's just been a great ride. It's the greatest job in the world. Yeah, we haven't had the ultimate trophy and the ultimate run, but we've had so many great years.
Welcome to the NHL!
And while Bowen is known for calling big moments, when asked about his favorite call of all time,
haven't made that call yet. Counting on it this year.
While Bowen hopes the season will end in late June, the Leafs season opener is on October 8th. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
Wow, what a legendary career.
He will be missed. Sarah, let's check in with Lindsay one more time at the Markham Fairgrounds. Lindsay.
Nathan, Zoraida, it's been such a fun day and night here at the fair. I encourage anyone to get outside over the next few days, whether it's to the fair or doing anything at all, because we are getting a prolonged little summer experience here. Let's begin with what you can expect overnight tonight. Mainly clear skies, a little bit of patchy fog, just be aware of that, and a low of about 11 degrees, slightly warmer than normal. Tomorrow at a glance, sunshine and a high near 25. It's going to feel more like 28 though once you factor in the humidity. Loads of sunshine as well. One more look at this 7-day forecast. I just have to remind you of the fact that our daytime highs are expected to be in the upper 20s, feeling into the 30s for Saturday, Sunday, and perhaps for Monday too. A little bit of wet weather beginning late Monday perhaps, but more so into the day on Tuesday, and then some cooler air returns through the middle of next week. We've been live here at the Markham Fair. It's been a blast. Nathan and Zoraida, I'm going to send it back inside to you.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. And be sure to join Omar Sachedina tonight at 11 for CTV National News, and I'll be back with your next local newscast at 11:30.
Meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thanks for watching. Have a great night. We'll see you at 11:30.